Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at Hidden Tracks 99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show.
These dreams will raise you up. Some kids wanna be rock stars, and some kids wanna be firemen. Yeah, but those dreams will mess you up if you're in it for the bright lights and the battle scars. It'll turn you into a liar, man. I don't know if I've seen a million faces. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've rocked them all. All I know is I've met a lot of people, filled a lot of spaces, learned to jump and learned to take a fall. And if that's not living large, then I'm happy living small. Oh, most of us, when we go out looking, as we do, for our lovers and our friends, yeah, we know it's not just supposed to be about what looks good. We know it's not really all about the Benjamins. Yeah, but business is a lot like love, and business is a lot like friendship, isn't it? You know, either way, if you just go out looking for what's rich and hot, you'll end up with a piece of shit. I don't know if I'll make $1 million, yeah, who knows, maybe if I return those calls. All I know is when I tune in, turn on and go out, it's not my radio, and it's not my TV show, it's not my rock and roll. Looks like one big fashion show. All these punk rock pimps and hoes, selling this and selling those. So does cars and phones. I mean, what's the dealio? This channel isn't clear at all. And if that's what passes these days for living large, then I'm happy living small.
My friend Christiana, everybody, you're just a wonderful person overall. I even met your mom that night, and all I said to your mom was, thanks for making your son and all the music that he brought, because all the stuff that you write, I don't know. I'm sure you touch everybody in different ways over here, but you really make a lot of soul healing stuff, and it transcends uh, geographical bounds, soul bounds, all sorts of boundaries. And it's transcendent, in my opinion. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Joe C. And we have talked a lot, and Joe has been an amazing angel for me as well. You have been an amazing angel for me. You've helped me digitize a bunch of stuff, and really just generally been a mensch, as us Jews say. So, and it's funny you mentioned the 4-hour conversations and kind of all of those stories. Those are all the reasons that probably the people who are still hanging out are hanging out and have been hanging out for the last gazillion years. And they're also the reason that a lot of people don't really like what I do, because what I do it's much more like I remember once someone said, sometimes I feel like I just pay $10 to come to your shows just to have a conversation. And it kind of is that for me. And it's not, and at first I felt sad because I really wanted him to love the music, but then it was clear that he did love the music, and that he really illuminated a part of what I was doing out here that I didn't even know was true for other people. And it's funny because my dad was studying to be a Unitarian minister before I was born, before he fell apart. And I kind of think in some ways that part of the impetus for me to do this is something like a ministry without all the trappings and dogma and morality, as it were, and just to be together. I'm just very interested in humans that want to hang out together, just where no one's there because it's a scene, no one's there because it's cool. And I don't try to make it uncool. I just made friends with the idea a long time with it. I just am. I just am. I don't know. I'm a weird creature as far as I can tell. And so I really love these stories because they remind me of what it is that I've been doing all of these years. And of course I've been doing the songs, but the songs are almost for me. They're just sort of for myself. And if anyone else likes them, that's great. But that's the center of it for me. But this part, I almost think the most important part of it is this stuff, which is why I kind of had this idea, because this whole thing, that's what the shows always feel like to me, is this, except with songs. And it turns a lot of people off because they're like, just shut the fuck up and sing. And I get it. I totally get it. And thank you for reminding me in who you are and how you are with me, and that story you just told, which is why I want you to kind of start this off. Thanks for that. That was really sweet. Yeah. Let's pass the mic. Who's got a thing? Questions? Anything?
I feel like it's like rehab. We're passing it around. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, my name is Carl. I'm from New Jersey. No. Hi. So I guess a statement and then a question. Statement is, the first time I saw you perform as your current iteration of One Line Drawing was Skate and Surf. I think it was 2001 or 2002. It was like a side stage. I think there was like 3 stages, but it was awesome. It was just felt very intimate and very different at the time than anything else that was being done. So I thought that was pretty freaking cool. And then when you were talking about the full circle thing on stage, about like, when you wrote a song at 27, like what was going to be like, being 55 now and still playing it. I was thinking a lot of the Far stuff I was listening to as a teenager. And then I've listened to the other stuff. And then when I was turning 41, I realized my daughter in February turned 14. And I said, it's happening. That was a couple years back now, but I was like, wow, what's the chances, right? Definitely didn't plan it. And then for the question is, I love your, obviously, solo stuff and your acoustic stuff, but a lot of the solo stuff you write also is with the band. Like I Is Another, I'm the one that shouted that out. I love that album. But it's a full album. The bass work on it is great as well. Some of your time signatures are very different on that particular album. So when you write that album, are you doing all those parts, or do you have musicians that come in a shared room and say, hey, let's write an album, and then they contribute? Or is it you on all instruments, you writing every note, and that?
Do I have a mic? Wait, hold on. Okay. Yeah, I was going to come over to you, but then it was clear that he was trying to remedy it or something, so I didn't want to fuck with him. I mean, I do. I love fucking with you, but that's just cause. Let me just, okay, Skate and Surf, first of all, thank you for bringing that up. I remember that show incredibly well. I'm almost positive that I was playing Lukewarm or something, and I think, remember that artist, Him or whatever? Him was playing after me, and Him's manager was really annoyed with me because I was doing my thing where I just kind of got to talking, and I was probably like 5 minutes over, and they killed the power, and we just kept on ripping. And I'm sure that guy, this is how I don't have a career. Like, I've pissed off so many managers doing so many things like that. But again, I still remember it after all these years, and that's what I'm going for, is a moment that is not just another forgettable blah, but a thing that really can get somewhere. And so as to the eyes and other stuff, yeah, that's a really great, I'm really happy you brought it up, because Norman, my dear friend, yes, all right. Norman, my dear friend, he said a thing to me a while back that whenever I collaborate with someone in any way, whether it doesn't even matter how little or someone else is doing, something in me shifts. And the person I made the Eyes and Other record with is called Ian Love, and he is in my club rival schools. Oh. And he also made the record and with me, made a bunch of the volunteers with me, and I met him when we did the one-line drawing, what Rival Schools United by one-line drawing split. So he's been a dear friend for a long time. So he called me up. He was leaving Rival Schools at the time, and he had written those songs for Walter as Rival Schools. That wasn't happening. And so he said, you want to sing these songs? And I was like, hell yeah, we'll sing the songs Walter was going to sing over. I almost wish I could have heard what Walter was going to do. And just the search. It would be such a neat alternate thing. So I wrote not one note of that music. That was all full. Ian is a genius. I don't use that word lightly. He's real. So he played a lot of that fantastic bass you hear. Yeah. Played all the insane guitar you hear. He did all those odd meters. A guy called Jeff Gensterblum did the drums, who is just a ripper. And I'm sure you know people that I don't know about, but a lot of that music was Ian. Okay. Those were essentially demos. And then he zhushed them up, and I sang over them. And they're some of my favorite songs precisely because I didn't have anything to do with the music. I just got to be a singer, which is one of my favorite things to do, is just put down the guitar. Don't worry about my little song and my little feelings and the thing. Just sing a song. And the feeling is those songs, Shake, Queen of Swords. I mean, all of them, they've got these.
Put the lyrics though, right?
But yes, for sure. That I almost always do. That's true. And I wrote all the vocal melodies. So I wrote all of everything involving a voice I handled. Gotcha. But none of the music for that. And I love sitting around alone, and that's actually my favorite thing to do, is headphones on, no one's around, no one might ever hear the song. That song I just played you, that little 1 minute thing, that's been sitting in my head for 10 years. And I just have a million crazy things just popping around. So I love spending time alone, just period, and making music. And when it can work with other people, I mean, a whole band is just a miracle when it works, when all the personalities work and all the music works. I think anyone that's in a band that really lasts is just luckier than they know, because I've obviously tried a bunch of times and it's just a tough mix. I think I'm a particularly tough cookie for that, because I'm very idealistic and very passionate about my ideas and whatever, a lot of less flattering terms too. But it's all for the music. But with Ian, it's nice because he gave me these songs and I was like, okay, all I need to do is not fuck these up. Like, I had no notes. It was brilliant. It was just, yeah, you can hear it. I mean, it's just these incredible tunes. So I just feel lucky to have gotten to sing over that. And I love that you brought it up because I always love to give him his flowers. He's a very humble, quiet person. When he left music for a while, he now makes insane bespoke furniture and stuff. He's just a polymath, just wizard. So anyway, yay Ian, yay I is another yay collaboration. It brings out, I think, the best in me. When I can find people I feel safe with, then all the sweetness and joy that people talk about and that you see, it's never a put on. And if I didn't feel safe, you would not be seeing this person. I mean, you literally wouldn't be seeing me because I'm just way happier alone than in mediocre company or feeling less than perfectly safe, honestly. And B, yeah, I can be real dick. Like if someone gets in my face, or especially if someone's bullying someone else, I love to bully a bully. And I've never been in a physical fight, but I have this alpha thing that can really get going when I see, when I see someone, when someone tries to come for me, or especially someone I love. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that, because that was a time when I always, when I'm around Ian, I feel really safe, and I think you can hear it in those performances. Yeah, yeah, super sweet. Who's got some ideas? Anybody? Yeah, you'll go. Yeah. Well, you can have it back if you want.
I'll talk. Sure. So you've been at this for very, very, very many years, obviously. And in those many years, you've done a whole bunch of artistic stuff, all the crazy amount of music you've written, the artists you've worked with, which is very many over the years, obviously. If you can even remember them all, kudos to you. The book, you've created this incredible online community with the emails that you send out, which is just a beautiful thing that you do. So thank you for that. I love getting those emails.
I never cares about emails anymore.
Oh, I mean, nobody, but they're
exactly.
they're really, really nice to receive.
I love them. So.
Yeah. And I guess a two-part question, I suppose. Of all of the many years of art and the different kinds of art that you've created, is there one that stands out for you? And why? Sure, all that. And also, of all the songs you've written, is there one that you are particularly proud of?
Thank you for all that. And I know it's easier when we had one. Now you don't have to do it with a mic. I know. Just hang. It's all good. We got this. And by the way, Shane, I love that you're going and tidying up, but I want you in on this too. I didn't mean to supplant your hosting this. I just wanted you to have some co-hosts. Is it going well? Okay. He's just going to come in and talk shit about us after this. He's like, here comes another dumb question. That answer was canned.
Reason what we're doing right now, what I want everybody to understand is what we're doing. No, I don't need that.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now is this is why I do what I do. This is what I love. Music lovers together talking to the artists that they love.
Yes.
Yes. That's all it was. And this right here is you guys today, what all of you did that I've never met before. Made my dreams come true. And that's it. Like, that's all I could ask. Like, if this burns down tomorrow, dreams came true today. So
yes.
Everybody. I speak the truth. I hope they'll smoke up people's asses, and I mean, my heart. Thank you.
I feel it. And that's what makes me feel safe. That don't need. I mean, I love when people are kind. That's great, but a lack of sincerity ruins all of it. And that's anytime I had more success, I would notice it would change what people would say to me and how they were with me. And they were still being really nice. And in fact, even more effusively complimentary sometimes. And I just felt like it was a little bit more of a proximity to power thing, that they were confusing me with some entity that was going to sort of bolster their social resume or something. And that's just, I'm not interested in being that. So as for this stuff, I mean, I think I have to in any obligatory way, but the book is it's a really special thing for me. I now know why so many authors end up alcoholic and suicidal. It was a very, very difficult thing just to do a thing of that scale. I've got a thing with the creative process. It's really, I think, a thing that involves any task in life. So anyone who's ever worked on a project, I'm sure you went through with this. I generally find that the first 5% of an idea is the greatest time. I feel I'm on the most high, that this is going to be the best thing in the world, and all the dreams are alive, and I'm so great, and all this stuff. And then around 10% in, a slow, almost imperceptible descent starts. And it goes down and down and down. And by the time I'm 70% of the way through anything, and I feel the worst, this is a waste of time, this sucks, no one's going to like this, I don't like this, what am I doing? All the things, all the spiraling. And then that 80, 90%, to the end, something happens where I make friends with the idea, not as it was in my head, because it will never be that when it comes out into the world somehow, but I make friends with what turned out, with what happened. And so it's all to say the book now, and again, if I'm writing a song, that process goes pretty quickly. The first couple of days or whatever, I feel so excited about the song. Week or two in, I almost don't want to finish the song, but I do, or I leave it sitting for years and years and years, and I'm just really patient with it and go, okay, cool, you don't want to finish now? Great, let's just wait. And I've learned to do that. But the point is, I go through that all the time. But the book, just the scale of it, it's almost 400 pages. And there were months of just crippling self-doubt, just horrible. And I was truly ready to send everyone's money back and to be like, you know what? Forget I ever did this thing. I'm going to go back to my music. This was a terrible idea. But I didn't do that. And it was all because my daughter was walking out the door one day and I was going to sit down to start writing again. It was like this jail sentence for me, but I really wanted to do it. And as she was walking out the door, I realized, oh, wait, all this is a document for her, for my family, for my loved ones, just my best attempt at telling the story of how all this happened. And as it turned out, I also realized that it was also the story of us, because what being a dad and why I called it, the years of fatherhood and music, is because those two things that could have torn each other apart. I could have been a terrible father and or a terrible, unsuccessful, in emotional, like the important ways, artist. And luckily, I was able to use my love for both things to kind of bolster the other. And sort of, I was talking about it on the stage. I used it to remind me when I went out on tour, make it count, because I miss my kid right now. And I can't be out here if it's just ego gratification, whatever else. It's just not worth it. And so it really enlivened my life out here, because I was very determined to not have it be regular rock and roll. Like, commercial success be damned. I just was determined to have a goddamn good time. And same as when I was home with her, she would always say, like, yeah, I know you have to go away for work. And I would be so honest with her. I would say, I don't have to go away. This is a choice I'm making. I want to go away. I hate leaving you. And I love this so much. It gives me so much medicine. It lets me be a better father to you, because I can process my shit and kind of do the things. And I hope I was showing her the difficulties of making choices in life. And so when I realized it was about that, everything else, all of my self-doubt, it all felt secondary. And so and every time I crack it open still, it's now been, almost 10 years since I wrote it. And I still open it, and I'm always a little scared then open to go, oh God, it really is terrible. But I go, no, actually, because I've read a ton of books, and I'm like, this is all right writing. It doesn't get too flowery. I don't get too, here's how the world works. I just tell stories about, and I think that's the most powerful thing that any of us can do with each other, is tell the honest truth about our lives. It's as simple as that. David Mamet, this amazing playwright, says, tell the truth. It's the easiest thing to remember. And I just couldn't pass it on enough. So the book is that for me. Then as far as the songs go, they're an interesting thing, because ultimately, of course, I'm a songwriter, not an author. Music I loved photography as a kid. I loved drawing. Kind of loved anything that would get me kind of out of the world and into my head. And but music slowly just took over. It was never a thing that I was bound and determined to do music. I was just kind of playing guitar while I was drawing superheroes and sharks and whatever else. But then as everyone else started dropping off of music and figuring out what they wanted to do with their lives, it just kept being this solace for me. So the songs are almost it's a paradox. They're so fucking important to me, and individually speaking, they're not really that important to me because it's more about the feeling of being in them. That said, the ones that really stick with me, the one that really sticks with me is Tides. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sing it, not trying to explain it, but it's about being scared about the future and how paralyzing that can be, and me trying to convince myself and tell myself that if I can just be curious about the future rather than scared of it, I don't need to be even enthusiastic about it. Because I think for me, at least, sometimes overly enthusiastic or hopeful behavior about the future is actually just the flip side of fear. It's just me trying to cover up for how scared I am by like being like rah, rah, rah. So it's just about being a little bit curious about what happens next. And so I don't know if this is going to come on the podcast, but I'm going to try and hold the guitar funny. I'm going to see what happens. A guy called John from a band called Sensefield. I was talking with him on the phone about how scared I was about being a dad and where far was going and what was happening. And he said, just show up. And that was the start of this song. This time next year, I won't be here. By then, I swear I'll be somewhere. I rely on this. I rely on this. I rely on this. And Neil Young once said that he's only written 3 songs and the rest are just kind of less good versions of those 3 songs. And that's Neil Young. And I've taken that on. And so I think Tides became Living Small, became a lot of things that kind of sound like this. But this one is the core metal, if you will, of that whole feeling, that whole trying to stay present with wherever life is going thing. Standing on top of a tall pole, trapeze, still air, and me there wondering, will I jump or won't I? Will I jump or won't I? Just show up, there is time. Thank you, John. Just walk in the light, and all you desire is true. Will rise like tides. Will rise like tides. Will rise like tides. Rise like tides. And I don't mean that you'll get that Mercedes-Benz if you manifest it. I mean that if you just show up and stay true to yourself and sort it out, I think infinite joy is always possible. And circumstance matters less and less, because if I'm in acceptance, it doesn't matter. Yep. I'm getting the wrap it up light. That makes me want to go more. No. Anyway, That's what I'm trying to say all the time is this song. Is just try to be curious about whatever's going on in your life. Try not to get too caught up in all the big feelings. Joy is available, regardless of circumstance. So this time next year, I won't be here because everything changes by then. I swear I'll be somewhere this time next year. I won't, but I swear I'll be somewhere. And I have a very clever, real answer to your question. I think my favorite song is the next one. And I think my favorite idea is the next one. And I have so many more ideas. I'm scoring a little film right now. I've got a whole dream about this exact thing we're doing and doing a whole tour that's much more about conversation and preserving it so we can all kind of listen back to what we said and thought and kind of doing away with that kind of binary me on a stage and you out here kind of thing for once and for all. And I don't know what will happen, but yeah, my favorite ideas are the next ones. It's true. All right, we got time for one more. Shane, if you want to bring us home, I'd really love that. And if someone else wants to bring us home, I'd love that. And let this conversation go on forever. This feels so good. But yeah, we got to get out of this store and let them close up.
No, and for everybody here, so I want everybody to understand it's, I already said it, but the fact that you guys are here and the fact that Jonah's doing what he's doing right now means the absolute world to me. And what he just did on guitar for you guys, he's the first person ever 200. So this was a big thing for me. My 200th episode of the podcast, where I come out every week, 200 episodes.
Unreal.
It was my 200th episode that came out on my birthday, the same day I went to see my favorite band, the Rolling Stones.
Woo!
But he was the first person ever to play the song where I said, if you could only play one song, you had 3 minutes to play a song for someone to make a difference in their life over a bass.
That's right. See, I wasn't lying. Shit.
He was the first person in 200 episodes. So this is everything that's happening right now is by far and away. It's gonna burn out tomorrow. Greatest thing.
That's what I say about my career every day. Eesh. Thank you for reminding me of that, Shane.
We're turning into fucking Jonah. So, you guys all made it happen. It's all because of you, not because of me or anything.
And same. In sixth grade when I was in the talent show singing a terrible British accent, singing a Stones song it's actually a Chuck Berry song, but a Stones covering Chuck Berry on 12 by 5, Oh Carol. My terrible British accent was so bad, this is in the book, that people thought I was singing Oh Cow, because I was trying to do whatever I thought Mick Jagger sounded like when I was 11. Anyway, so that kid getting to be here 43 years later, just because of this neat little dream. I mean, it just fucks me up every time. Okay, let's finish it out. Yeah.
Well, I don't really have a question or any of that. I just have a funny story to share that actually involves you. The last time I saw you play solo.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'm going to entitle this story "My Friend Peter," and the worst, what the lowest point of his life. So this is almost.
Does this happen to be Peter Colopy?
No.
Okay.
No, friend of mine I went to college with.
Okay.
So this was almost 22 years ago. The last time I saw you play solo, I was in college in Western Massachusetts. Me and 3 other friends drove from Western Mass to go to Boston. Saw you play with Rocking Horse Winter, Hope's Fall, and Coheed and Cambria.
Ow.
I think it was upstairs at the Middle East.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was an awesome show. Everyone was great. Really great time. So we're making the trek back to Western Massachusetts. At the point where we're going is like an hour and a half, maybe close to 2. And we're in backwoods nowhere, Massachusetts. Like it's like that area where it's like you don't know if you're in New Hampshire or Vermont. Yeah. So no street lights, back roads. All of a sudden, cop lights on.
The worst.
Behind us. Get pulled over. My friend Peter is driving, and he had this little green Gumby colored car. And the cop pulls him over, asks for license and registration. He had a taillight out. Didn't know it. So cop takes it, comes back a couple minutes later. He's like, you have a suspended license. I'm supposed to take you in. So we're just like, okay, this is crazy. So apparently his mother back home never informed him anything about getting anything in the mail about any of the stuff, unpaid ticket, any of that stuff.
Oh my God.
So luckily, one of the remaining 3 of us was able to drive the car. And I was the one that had to bail him out. So we're in nowhere trying to find an ATM. And this is like, before GPS.
Right.
After midnight, trying to find something. Luckily found something. Able to go to the police station to go get him, release him.
Wow.
He comes back to the car and he's like, well, the cop was really cool. And, we were just, he was a nice guy. But he said, I have to book you. I have to put you in a holding cell. Got to do all that.
Wow.
So Pete's the only guy in a cell. So he's just sitting there and he ends up laying on the bench. And he looks up, it's either like high on the wall or on the ceiling. It just says, someone etched in Ted Nugent rules. And to him, when he saw that, he thought to himself, this is the lowest point in my life.
So good.
So at that time, that was the lowest point of his life.
That is so great. That is just a lovely story. And I've almost had my license suspended, so I'm really happy that he's okay, because it sucked.
Yeah, the whole time here and coming here and seeing you, it's just like, wow, that happened the last time I saw you play solo.
Stories similar to this where their car gets like broken into either before or after the show. And so there's this horrible memory right alongside the night, this perfect night. And I'm just really happy that this is a perfect example of, I know we need to stop, but I just want to talk for real quick about this guy, Adler. He's a kind of interesting figure. He was a contemporary of Freud and Jung. And so, of course, Freud and Jung, they became how we think of our emotions and our minds and stuff between those two people. And Adler was their contemporary, but he had some really different ideas about trauma and about our minds and how we do it. And he basically said that the way, like when a country, if the revolutionaries win, then in the history of that country, that's when the revolution happened and the revolutionaries won, And if they lose, they're the terrorists and infidels that the ruling class then writes about. And he thinks, and I believe him, I'm with him on this, that we do the same thing with our memories of our lives. We decide what to remember in order to be with the narrative of who we think we are and almost to justify our stories about ourselves. And it was very powerful for me to hear this because writing the book was going through a lot of memories and wondering why I remember different things. And so I love that you told that story right now, because what it illustrates to me is that you did tell a really tough story. And yet it ultimately is a really sweet story, because it's a story about friends hanging out and getting through a tough thing and being around this really fun show that they all had together. And so I love that that's the prevailing memory, because we could be in a very different situation. You could be telling that story that could have been, where Peter fucking went off track and it's horrible now. And it isn't. And so you're making me think of Adler. There's a book called The Courage to be Disliked, which is one of the greatest book titles ever. And it kind of spells out Adler's kind of philosophy. And it's tiny and really neat and simple. And I couldn't recommend it more. So thank you for telling an amazing story and exemplifying perfectly what memory is and what we are. All right, Shane, we're going to get out of your store. Thank you so much for hanging out for this. You're the best. Let's not even clap. Let's just be together. We're done with the clapping part. And just thanks for hanging. Your presence is just warming my heart, and I'm going to sleep so well tonight. So get safe. Don't get picked up by a snake.
So put it up on your face, hallelujah. And these days will all go by. Anything I can do to help you through it, I just love to see you smile. Faith, I got faith, but it's dangerous to worry so much. I should've known better than to get in your way. Hey, that's something. Hey, anything I can do it. Hey, anything I can do it. So put it up on your face, hallelujah. And these days will all go by. Anything I can do to help you through it, I just love to see you smile. Grace, I like grace, and it's dangerous to give in so much. I should've known better than to get in your way. Hey, that's something. Hey, anything I can do it. Hey, anything I can do
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at hiddentracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.